This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money, you sorry
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
I've never felt like this before. It's like you just get me. I feel like my true self with you. Does that sound crazy? And it doesn't hurt that you're gorgeous. Okay, that's it. I'm taking you home with me. I mean, you can't find shoes this good just anywhere. Find a shoe for every you, from brands you love, like Birkenstock, Nike, Adidas, and more at your DSW store or DSW.com.
Jen.
Micheletti?
Well, I'm a little down today that Rick Smits, Detlef Schrempf,
Dale Davis,
Antonio
Davis,
Antonio and Reggie.
Yep, Reggie Miller.
How good was that team?
Haywood Workman, Mark Jackson,
How did they not win a title?
Crazy. That's unbelievable. I think it's
couldn't
because
get past the Knicks.
Yeah, or their best players popped Achilles like early in games, and then they would fight and scrap and claw and clutch and would just come up short. That something got into you Saturday where for a game 7. And it's if you're Pat Micheletti at Pat Mick 2626. He's hockey immortality, but he has an appreciation for all sports, specifically the core four locally. So if it's a game 7 and you're a sports snob, it's kind of mandatory to even follow just the box score on your phone or something. Mr. Mick Tocchet was all fired up Saturday for game 7 on a Sunday night, and he texted me Saturday that Indiana would be champions.
Yep, I did.
Can't chide you.
No.
When one of the best two players pops an Achilles early and he's killing them with 3 3-pointers in the first 6 minutes.
From 90 feet.
Right. Caitlin Clark range.
Yes.
Which, by the way, speaking of talkback potential this week, we have that Johnny Athletic tweet about the big week for the Wolves.
Huge week.
Alec Lewis with his mailbag and biggest surprises in 2025 for the Minnesota Vikings. We also, there also is an option to discuss a newfound way to play defense in basketball. It involves players slapping Caitlin Clark in the face. I always love
poking them in the eye.
And doing so for profit. What an incredibly ingenious way to play defense. That potentially could come up somewhere during the course of the week. But if Halliburton makes the entire dance, the entirety of the game, do you think they win?
I do.
Yeah,
I really do. Especially in the second quarter, you saw a dip in the enthusiasm of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Right.
And
it's that defense that got played on them without slapping SGA in the face.
And as much as I love McConnell and he tried
and them hard.
Yeah, but McConnell he tried too hard.
What's he supposed to do?
I know, but
limitations.
You're right, though. He was so good.
Don't you? I mean, yeah. He
gave
everything he had.
The selfish plays he made, where he was getting to the hoop and hitting those layups.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yep.
Some of the passing and the decisions he made in distribution.
Yes,
hideous
at crucial times.
Yeah, the turnovers got out of hand.
3 or 4 or 5, and then all of a sudden that goes to 9, and then to 12.
Yeah.
I mean that was the killer, and God bless him. He tried to literally, but he's not to that level where he could literally put it. I think he needed to settle down a little bit, try to involve a couple more guys, and that didn't happen.
I got a lot of respect for TJ McConnell. I mean,
100%.
What is he, 5'11"?
If that.
5'11" to 6'1", something like that. And he's in his 30s. He's a backup.
Yeah.
Can't shoot threes.
No.
I mean, no interest in shooting threes. He tried one, and it looked like that commercial they used to do with like Larry Bird and Steph Curry throwing it from the upper deck, and they would make it. Well, his didn't go in.
Yeah.
They were he was a functioning brickaholic from 3. But you talk about somebody giving absolutely everything they have with a limited skill set, yet still coming through to try to carry this thing on your broad shoulders. Yeah. That was TJ McConnell.
For sure. I agree. And
SGA wasn't even getting these foolish foul calls. I mean, the free throw merchant, free throw merchant.
That didn't happen in this series.
No, a little.
Not like the Wolves series.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, every time.
You were in the crowd chanting free throw merchant, weren't you? Wishing we had one.
Yeah, I was.
That's the thing that just, I'm just going to land the plane on this thing because it just bugged me too much. We wish we had a free throw merchant.
Let's hypothetically say the Wolves beat the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? How did you like the matchup against Indiana? If it was Minnesota?
That's a great question because...
See, I think the Wolves beat them.
Well, you don't have past performances from this season off which to play because we went to Indiana and Pacers beat us with their full complement.
I don't like to talk about the regular season.
Okay.
Because the regular season is it's December 38th.
Yeah, December 38th. Right.
Right? And
a long month.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but there also was a time Indiana came here on a Monday night down 4 starters.
Yeah.
Had no Halliburton, no Siakam, no Turner, no. And
was it Neesmith or Nembhard the only starter that they had?
Was it game 58?
Until right in front of halftime.
64?
When Nembhard slept. Nembhard. The Connecticut player who's playing defense slapping Caitlin Clark in the face.
Now you're saying
she learned it from Nembhard.
In an 82-game season, you are going to tell me that we should be pumped up for game 64.
I'm voicing respect.
All the games count.
For the adversary.
All the games.
Because
great point.
However, when you roll into a game and you're playing somebody who has close to all their starters or all their starters, and then you lose Nembhard for slapping Conley in the face and some egregious L, so he's out. So now they have no starters. They were using nothing but bench guys in the entire second half against us. It went to overtime, and Nordo's guy Obi Toppin went Reggie Miller on it.
You're trying to sell me something I am completely not buying.
Well, here's where I'm going with this, PA.
Yeah.
Is yes, technically, to Pat's point, you can't pull from those experiences. Similarly, you really couldn't pull from the OKC games because you can play that, right? It's no Rudy and Randall in a couple of spots and different lineups. I think where we took the Obi Toppin thing in those games the wrong way is this was an omen. This was a harbinger. This was a foreshadowing moment where we actually got to see the depth that we've been fawning over and lauding over the course of the postseason.
Right.
So as much as I love the Howl, as much as I love my team.
That's a good take.
If the Wolves get by OKC, and again, this Achilles thing, it's all projection after the 7 minutes of Halliburton. I think the Wolves struggle in kind against Indy the same way that we watched the Knicks and other teams struggle with them this postseason. That depth is undeniable, and it came through in the biggest moments for them. I think the Wolves would have had a heck of a time trying to beat Siakam and Halliburton and et cetera.
Absolutely with him. And here's why. Because I watched us play OKC, and then I watched them play OKC. And they played them in more tough fashion and put them in more
so what you're saying is Nembhard on
Conley? Nembhard on Conley or Nembhard on SGA?
Yeah.
What?
Nembhard on SGA.
What's the point?
He was fabulous.
Yeah.
He was fabulous.
I understand.
We were not fabulous defensively against...
Right.
Okay.
We would have been...
but that's what you're saying. Well, the way they played them... How did they play them, Paul?
We would have been dogs into the series, and it's an impossible hypothetical to answer. Yeah, I mean, who would have had a home court in that?
That's a great question.
Well, who cares?
I don't know.
Like, it really matters. I mean,
that's a great question.
We lost to the Pacers when they didn't have 5 starters.
Yeah. Oh boy, in Game 64.
But what it would have exposed.
Check what game that was, please.
I don't like to be this negative. I know. Or be this negative in hot fun in the summertime months. However, I mean, it's FICA, Fairness and Center Envy Act. We had it again. Miles Turner. He shoots threes. He blocks. He's one of the NBA's best at blocking shots. See Stifle Tower.
I see. I didn't
Stifle rebounds.
I did not think he had a great.
But you have to account for him shooting threes with one of your bigs. So that puts us in a little bit of a conundrum. So I think Indiana probably would have won, but what a heck of a series it would have been.
It would have been. Yes, I
believe it was Game 70.
Tocchet came in firing, so it's McTocchet came in firing. Yeah. Let's make this the marathon segment.
Okay.
And marathons 9 to noon are provided by Steve's Appliances and stevesappliances.com. The 4th of July sale is in the air. Lowest prices of the season are available right now at Steve's Appliances in Mounds View, and they guarantee the low price in the first place. To wit, save up to $500 on a Whirlpool white top freezer refrigerator. Go to stevesappliances.com and hit Shop Deals. There are a zillion, and there's gold in them there hills with that savings. So hit Shop Deals at stevesappliances.com. Do we think Oklahoma City is a dynasty in the making? And can the same thing be said for the Florida Panthers? So like in the NBA, I think since 2018, there have been 8 different teams to win the NBA title. OKC with that MB3, SGA, Holmgren, and Jalen Williams, they look like they're going to be tough. In the last team to win 3 consecutive Stanley Cup finals was the New York Islanders 4.5 decades ago.
Yeah.
45 years ago, Bossy, Trottier, Potvin. It was that group, right?
Clark Gillies,
yeah.
Yeah.
Playing against the Sabres with Gilbert Perreault and the Canadiens with Guy Lafleur. It was that time, right?
Well, Gilbert Perreault was a Buffalo Sabre, but yes.
Yeah, Buffalo Sabre.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, what do you think the Panthers potentially are going to become the first in nearly a half century to win 3 in a row?
Unless they have the ability to, if the players decide to take less money. Right. And because we are in, and that goes for how long can Oklahoma City stay together? Right. Because they're just, there's just not enough money to go around, which is unfortunate unless they say, hey, yeah, let's keep this thing going. Mm-hmm. Can the Panthers sign Marchand? Can they sign Bennett? Can they keep Aaron Ekblad? All 3 of them are going to get paid. And it's, do they decide to try to win or take the money elsewhere?
Well, my question. So let's take Kachuk for instance. Yep. So back when Kane and Taves were winning cups with Crawford, and no one would shoot high glove side on Crawford, much to your chagrin.
Yeah.
And they were winning cups. We would talk about how many games that the Blackhawks were having to play every single season, going deep in and making these runs and hoisting cups. Now it paid off for them certainly. But when you think about like a Kachuk in particular, now I'm not questioning this person's drive. He just played a lot of games with apparently this adductor muscle torn off the bone. Ugh. True warrior stuff, right? Yep. But he works through that, gets to the mountaintop, and now you're asking some of those guys to immediately do it again. Like it feels like for me with the Panthers, and again, I'm not questioning Tkachuk wanting to go out there and keep winning. These guys want to win cups. But how important is it that there's some infusion of new guys that are hungry for cups, that guys have it, they're coming to Florida like Marchand did, trying to chase Lord Stanley's cup, getting some of those new faces. So keeping the Bennetts, keeping the Ekblads, and keeping Tkachuk healthy, certainly A topics for the team, but that good mix of infusion of energy. We know you guys have been there. We have not. So I want to be part of this wave in 25/26. Like the infusion of new guys into the mix, I think is really important too.
Yeah. And
old people get tired.
Yeah. But a key point, and, we talk about roster management, right? And Florida they knew they played into mid-June last year. Look at what they did.
The year before. Yeah.
Yeah. And the year before where they lost.
So they get like 2 months and change off, right? Up to like training kit. Wow.
That's it. But Aaron Ekblad missed the last 20 games of the year due to
an adductor.
No, his drug issue.
Oh.
And so he was suspended.
An abductor.
Yeah. And so Tkachuk didn't play. They rested Barkov. They rested their guys down the stretch, and they were fresh for the playoffs. And to your point, Nordo.
So we're out here playing Faber 32 minutes, and you're saying that ain't right.
Right. I mean, because you had to make the playoffs.
Well, think about being in a spot where they actually, we just want to get in.
They didn't care if they won the President's Cup. They didn't go for the who cares? Get us in the playoffs. They were on the road.
Then they almost got bounced.
Yeah, they were on the road. In Toronto, they had to, go
Were
to
they down 3-0?
2-0.
2-0.
Yep. And had a chance to be down 3-0, and Toronto just said, here, no, we want to let you. Wow.
Yeah, they were down 3-1 late second period in that game.
Yeah.
Come back
in the final
win.
game, right?
No, at home.
Game 3.
Okay.
They were on the verge of going down 3-0.
At home.
That's what it was. Jeez, wow.
Yeah.
That's mental fortitude. That's tenacity.
And if you saw what Paul Maurice did, and the audio and the video is there, him on the bench. The last shift of the Stanley Cup to clinch it, to end it, clock's going down. He said, this guy, and this guy, I can't remember which three. You won us the effing, you won us the effing cup in game 3.
Yeah.
And you're having the last shift of the game.
Oh, wow.
It was so cool.
And then Evander Kane went around with this stick trying to pop everybody's Achilles.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it was hockey can be so uniquely strange and beautiful at the same time, where the Panthers are killing them. And it's like, so therefore there was no final 3.5 minutes. We're not going to forecheck. We're not going to back check. You can skate with your head down middle of the ice and you're not going to get hit. We're probably not even going to shoot until the fool Evander Kane whacks somebody on his Achilles. Well, then out goes Tkachuk, out goes Bennett, out goes Reinhart. In come 3 Hammond Eggers. You would have thought it was the first shift of game 1.
Right.
I mean, they were like, you want to see what it feels like when we try 100%? Forechecking, back checking, smacking guys, big shots on the goaltender.
And we'll just laugh at you then, too.
And then Kane came out of the game, and they backed off.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful how they do things like that.
Yeah, and because they knew it. It was over. It was over.
So the
and they're in their own tier, right? If like PA's, dynasties and stuff. I mean, the cap situation as it rises, maybe that helps. But we've seen it in the last 15 years, the difficulty of maintaining that greatness. So Kings do it a couple of times, more recently in Florida, of course, with the Lightning. But are the Panthers in a tier all to their own?
And Tkachuk and or Marchand got to be close to all done.
Tkachuk? No, he's still young. He's still young.
I understand that, but I mean, these injuries every year through which he pushes. Okay, take Tkachuk out of it.
Okay,
I was talking about Keith Tkachuk anyway, and like his middle of the week hockey league that he's in. Yeah. But Marchand's close to 40.
Yeah, he is. So and he's going to get paid, and someone's going to overpay him, but you overpay him for the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Same thing's going to happen with Bennett, although Bennett wants to stay there.
Kirill Kaprizov's going to make more money than Sam Bennett.
Kirill Kaprizov will make any more money than anybody, not even close on the.
Yeah.
No one makes over $10 million on the Florida Panthers.
Right. That's going to happen.
For sure. He's going to get $15 million.
No doubt.
If I'm Marchand, I'd go cheap to stay in South Beach versus like I've seen already links to him to Toronto or something like that. Like you really want to jump up there and have a fun season and leave in the second round, or do you want to try
leave in the second round
and vie for the three-peat?
For sure.
They never see the second round despite having all these big name players. So now Bennett goes up there, he's playoff immortality. And then he's going to be part of this enigma that's a stigma and feel bad about it.
You always try to break down, or at least me, crazy me, how do they win the Cup and what does it take to win the Cup and what should a roster look like? And, and typically it changes year to year. Florida, they win the Cup because they go into every game saying, yeah, anybody, anybody can score. Yeah. We don't need Barkov to get 2 tonight. We don't need Anton Lundell to get 2. Here's how we play, and it could be anybody. And once you get to that level, that point of not saying, boy, if 97 doesn't score 3 tonight, or Boldy, or, we're not going to win. We have no chance.
I read
and they don't operate like that.
Yeah.
And goes back to my depth. It goes back to my, strong up the middle.
Yeah.
Good D and solid goaltending. I think that's a real key to winning.
Russo Radio had in preparing for McTocket this Monday version. Russo Radio tiered at the athletic.com. He tiered like untouchable, Kirill Kaprizov, blah, 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 so on.
Yeah.
And then probably not, like trade-wise, probably not touchable. There were like 4 or 5 tiers. But during the course of the story, man, I'm hoping I didn't read this the wrong way. And I'm not here trying to make Matt Boldy sound like Anze Kopitar reincarnate. Okay? Matt's a fine player.
No doubt.
How much dog is there in him as a 1A, a 1B, a 1C to Kirill? It's been good. He can score, but there's still more of the movie to be seen. Fair?
Fair.
But Boldy's good, right?
Yep.
Okay. I think in like Rossi, Marco Rossi being the low-hanging fruit trade potential here, and then like his camp feels 5 and 5 a year, $25 million over 5 years. They feel they were lowballed. And then there was something written there where Rossi's camp wants to be paid like Matt Boldy.
Yep.
I was like, if that's accurate, how can you look at somebody with a straight, and I know there were 60, 61 points or whatever, and the skill set's cool.
Yeah.
But enough has not been done to even look at somebody with a straight face and say that if it's accurate, right?
Correct. Well, for sure. And I
like the guy on the team,
and listen, Minnesota is going into an off season where they have some money, not a ton of money. Mm-hmm. Other teams have more money.
How is that? I mean, we've waited a freaking decade for this July 1st buyout bid. Now we're broke.
Well, I mean, if you look, and that's to my point of if you are going to sell or sign 97 to the massive deal, you have, if you want to be good, you have to say, no one else is untouchable.
Yeah.
No one. Well, this guy doesn't have a no move. Well, ask him if he'll waive the no move. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to do that. You have to be able to make some fans who love player X, player Y, or player Z, you say, sorry, we're going to move it.
That's it?
Oh, I thought you were telling me to be quiet.
No, when I put my hand up, it's the
it's the nonverbal to the North.
In-game sign. We're going to break in the cash things coming up soon.
I've been here long enough where I should know. But no, I think this is such a critical.
Well, that's why Maruk never passed to you. You didn't know the plays.
Well, after he passed to me and said, here's a tap in. No, Dennis, I don't want that goal. I don't want that to be my first National Hockey League goal.
That's when he beat you up after the game. I'm talking about a different situation. He beat me up
not after the game, during the game. He looked at me like, okay, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
So I mean, back to my point. I think Bill Guerin has an opportunity to shake things up a little bit. You can't say, listen, we've had the core here, right? And every year we get to, we've had a great season. And you know, what Bill Guerin did, and to get us through this time frame, I think was really, really, really good. However, now he's got the chance to really shape the type of team that he wants. And I don't think that he should be afraid, and he won't be, but afraid to move popular guys that have been part of it. Maybe that's not the mix anymore. And package some type of deal and you know, see what comes of it. That's the way I look at it.
Middle point of the show.
Check your watch and tell me what time it is.
It's 10:30, y'all.
Now peek your head out and tell me what the climate is.
75 and steamy, but it's scorching because we got cash to give away.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand and win some bonus bucks. It's a national cash contest. Go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword credit. Could win $1,000 with the keyword credit at KFAN.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money you saw in
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
The last thing anyone wants is to leave behind confusion, stress, or worse, family conflict. That's why estate planning isn't just for the wealthy. It's for families like mine, and probably like yours. With Trust and Will, I created my estate plan in minutes, from naming guardians for my kids to putting our house in a trust to avoid probate. Fast, affordable, and way easier than I thought. Every plan is designed by estate planning attorneys and customized for your state. Plans start at just $199 and include essentials like healthcare directives and power of attorney. With Trust and Will's bank-level security and built-in privacy protections, your personal information and your wishes stay safe. Whether you're newly married, raising kids, caring for aging parents, or just want peace of mind, Trust and Will makes it easy to protect what matters most. Go to trustandwill.com, use code RADIO at checkout, and save 20% on your personalized plan. Because there's no better time to protect the people you love. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled smart engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job, so you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
You app.
Does that sound right? Does that sound about right? That sounds great. That checks out. It checks out.
KFAN is my favorite station.
Yeah!
Double doink. 9 to noon.
Just listen.
Whipping. You think it's funny?
You want to change the conversation, win some games.
9 to noon.
Why don't you put your pants back on, Slappy?
We mentioned Mike Bossy, Brian Trottier, and Dennis Popvan. What was sports like? And Pat and I are about the same age. What was sports TV like when you were in high school back in the 80s? Sports TV, 80s, Little Baby McTuckett.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Howard Cosell, Frank Gifford, and Dandy Don.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. And Keith, yeah. Yep.
Into Lynn Swan, into, I think, who else was on there? OJ maybe for a while. Maybe. It was that. It was.
You remember Monday Night Baseball?
Monday Night Baseball.
On ABC.
Yes.
Keith Jackson was the Vox.
Yes.
Howard Cosell was part of the mix.
It was fabulous. My favorite was Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah.
Hockey night in Canada.
Oh.
That we either got the Maple Leafs.
Man, we never got to watch that in DC.
Maple Leafs or the Toronto or the Montreal Canadiens. And it was
on over-the-air TV.
Over-the-air, yeah, because in northern Minnesota, we got the CBC.
Yeah.
And it was fabulous.
Wow.
Danny Gallivan.
Yeah.
The best Vox.
Not familiar with
ever.
him.
Oh, if you ever have a chance to listen to Danny Gallivan.
Was he Montreal or?
Montreal.
There sometimes on the vast and not ever expanding network that I'll listen to Canadian hockey Voxes.
Yeah.
Like, it's a drive home or it's in the garage working
really
or whatever.
Good.
The radio voices for every, I don't watch it on TV, but like Calgary's guy.
Yeah.
Calgary's guy is unbelievable.
Yeah.
With a big bellowing voice.
Edmonton's guy. I worked a game with him.
They're all unbelievable.
Jack Michael. Now he's moved to TV. He's really good.
Man, they take that stuff
really
so
good.
seriously.
And continuing on, the NBA.
Yeah. Friday nights at 11 o'clock Eastern.
Tape delay.
Yes. It was
Dick Stockton.
Yes.
And
Hubie Brown. Maybe, or Billy Cunningham.
Tommy Heinsohn.
Oh, Tommy Heinsohn was the right answer.
Tommy Heinsohn when he retired from the Celtics.
It was the bomb.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, it also...
You waited till 11 o'clock at night to watch Game 4 of a playoff game.
Or the NBA Finals. Those were on tape delay.
Dr. J, Billy Cunningham.
Yes. Cornbread Maxwell. Granville Waiters. Are you kidding me?
Cornbread, Boston Celtics, just to, he was not a Sixer.
Yeah, no, he was Cedric Cornbread Maxwell.
Yeah.
It was, and I don't exactly know why. Maybe because like a live sporting event or live music or something.
There were 3 stations.
Yeah, but see, they could have played them and probably sold them well, but it had to have been an FCC situation where it's like it's such a rodeo sometimes with the language or whatever that
and it wasn't
showed
like
on tape delay.
Tape delay, and they went right to the tip off.
Yes, I know, right? Exactly. No pregame.
No pregame.
Holy cow! How about how excited you would be during the course of a day, knowing your mom and or dad were going to let you stay up Friday or Saturday night to watch Muhammad Ali fight George Frazier or George Foreman
or the Acorn Shaver. What was his name? Ernie
Shaver. Yes. Yeah. I mean, those weren't even alive. And Muhammad Ali was the bomb.
It was in the build up to the fights.
That was unbelievable.
So the Thrilla in Manila. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's a separate talkback bit, but I mean, like UFC and stuff. My son loves
the 72 Olympics.
Yeah, my son loves UFC, and I'll watch it occasionally with him. And it's cool, man. But I mean, it's like when it was Ali and Foreman and Frazier, and then you get into Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvelous Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns and Roberto Duran.
No mas.
And those guys hated each other. Right.
Oh.
And then it went into Oscar De La Hoya And then it started to change a little bit around that. Well, Leon Spinks and Michael
Spinks.
But then when Mike Tyson started fighting,
how scared was it, Leon or Michael
against Tyson?
Yeah,
it was Michael.
Scared.
It was ridiculous.
He was so scared. Did it even last 35 seconds?
When Mike Tyson went professional, that's probably the last time that I really, really went out of my way to watch this stuff.
Yeah.
He in his first 10, 15 fights, he brutalized professionals in a way I've never seen in my life.
I'm playing in Italy, right, at the time. And Larry Holmes, Buster Douglas, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
Fought Mike Tyson in Japan.
Yeah.
I get up at 3, 4 in the morning to watch it, and I was stunned.
Yeah. There, and maybe this is a story. I don't know if it was a story or not, but that fight in Japan. All right. So that's around the time that I'm writing about horse racing for the Pasadena Star News and San Gabriel Valley Tribune. So I'm at Hollywood Park a lot.
Yeah. Thanks for the tip.
And there are, the Dick Van Pattens and John Forsyth and a lot of the famous people of the world who cared about boxing. And they also were plugged into high-end athletes.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who started this rumor, or maybe it was fact, but Mike Tyson was so sure he was going to beat Buster Douglas.
Didn't train, did he?
No, he trained, but he trained to a certain extent. But then 3-4 days before the fight, he flies from Japan to Los Angeles so he can go to the China Club. All right, the China Club was this big right off Hollywood Boulevard and Vine. It's this big private thing or whatever. And so he wanted to go there. And then he flew back, and he got his butt whooped too, man. So that's how seriously he was taking that fight. Who were some of your first favorite players in any sport?
Oh boy!
Like for me, it'd go baseball, Pete Rose, basketball, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, one of those two.
Go back. You got to go back earlier than that.
John McEnroe's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah. The tennis I was really into. Eli Nastase.
Yeah.
I mean, Ed Berg, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. And because you know what, they brought flair to the game,
right?
And they would, whatever Nastase was the mad Hungarian,
maybe
Romanian, whatever he was.
Ili Nastase was Romanian,
but he was crazy,
right? And then there's Vitas Gerulaitis with his hair, and you see Ron Duguay playing hockey later in the day, and you're like, they're the same person without a hair dye.
Right. And Martina and Chris Everett.
Oh, Billie Jean King. Tracy Austin.
It was Jennifer Capriati.
It was the
where
bomb.
she had that drug problem, came back, and ends up being number. That was Monica Seles. I watched a Monica Seles documentary the other day. Yeah, and it was very, very good. But the baseball. Come on, you grow up with Rod Carew, right? And Harmon Killebrew and all of those guys.
And I'm in D.C., so it's Eddie Murray for me.
I knew the lineup of the 1977 Big Red Machine.
Oh, yeah.
Which was, Jack Billingham, Don Gullett, Cesar
Geronimo.
Yeah.
You go
Dave
Johnny
Concepcion.
Johnny Bench at catcher.
Yes.
Joe Morgan at second.
Yes.
Pete Rose at third.
Tony Perez at first.
Concepcion at short.
Third. Outfield.
Well, third was Pete Rose.
Yeah,
Outfield.
Third. Yeah, but you know what?
George Foster.
We talked about the reason Pete Rose ended up at third because George Foster had to be in the lineup.
Oh, right. So Foster, Cesar Geronimo.
And
oh, geez.
Well,
they
had. I think they kind of had a platoon there. What was his name? Oh boy! Now you're going to look it up. Yeah, it's gonna. And that shame on me.
What?
For knowing their whole lineup and yet forgetting now.
That's okay. But Ken Griffey Sr.
Yeah.
What the hell are we doing here? Are you kidding me? It's Ken Griffey Sr.
Yes.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
And how about the father and son playing against each other?
Maybe down the road, I'd like to discuss with you the middle ground of sports ain't a great place to be. And just leave us with a yes or a no and a brief why. So the middle ground of sports, with the assumption it's not a great place to be. Is the Wild trapped in that spot right now? Good enough to beat most of them, but not deep enough to beat all of them. Well, man, that could have been a Wednesday talkback for about 4 segments. What the hell am I doing here?
Right. Well, maybe we'll leave it at that.
I will leave it at that.
I think this.
So, in other words,
I think
they're trapped in the middle ground. And you don't want to say
I think they have the ability, with some creativity, to be able to beat most of the teams. I do, but they have to be creative and they have to be unafraid.
Yeah.
Unafraid is the word for me this offseason, and it's a huge, huge offseason for Bill Guerin.
What, your best 30 seconds here. What did you and KG talk about on the podcast Wooden Sticks?
Oh.
That's a cool podcast. KG does a good job with that.
It is so much fun to do that. And he's fabulous.
Yeah,
and his
fantastic.
knowledge is so we bantered back and forth, and we have the ability to question each other about our takes.
Yeah.
And it's really, it makes you think, yeah, boy, I didn't think of that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of fun just trading up back and forth ideas and thoughts. And of course, I talk too much, and he laughs. But we had a great time.
Well,
we had a great time doing it.
I don't care what Joel Youngblood, Mike Lum, and Merv Retman say about your baseball knowledge.
Merv Retman, how about him at shortstop for the Baltimore Orioles?
I think it's elite. Have a good day, all right?
Thank you.
Lavelli Neal III, columnist, Star Tribune, joins us, we believe, about 20, 25 minutes from now. News du Nord is next on.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money you saw in
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
The last thing anyone wants is to leave behind confusion, stress, or worse, family conflict. That's why estate planning isn't just for the wealthy. It's for families like mine, and probably like yours. With Trust and Will, I created my estate plan in minutes, from naming guardians for my kids to putting our house in a trust to avoid probate. Fast, affordable, and way easier than I thought. Every plan is designed by estate planning attorneys and customized for your state. Plans start at just $199 and include essentials like healthcare directives and power of attorney. With Trust and Will's bank-level security and built-in privacy protections, your personal information and your wishes stay safe. Whether you're newly married, raising kids, caring for aging parents, or just want peace of mind, Trust and Will makes it easy to protect what matters most. Go to trustandwill.com, use code RADIO at checkout, and save 20% on your personalized plan. Because there's no better time to protect the people you love. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled smart engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. points. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job. So you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel Inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
KFAN.
News to Nord, it's brought to you by The Casino at Canterbury Park, CanterburyPark.com. You're feeling the felt all year long with poker, blackjack, and table games. You're having sips at chips. You're tipping Derek Allen and company. And then you're watching live racing Wednesday evenings, Saturday evenings, and Sundays. And it's not double the racing this week. Is that accurate, PA? We won't be able to fully furnish twice the amount of races this weekend, sadly, because of heat terrorism this last 2-day stretch.
The public believes Canterbury Park canceled races Saturday and Sunday due to the heat index sneaking above 105.
Yeah.
When in reality, we closed the racetrack because you've been beating us up so badly at blackjack.
I always love that one.
So the weather was just, it was a guise. It was a disguise for why we really closed down the racetrack to shut down the con.
I'm about to enter a 2-year losing streak there now because of that.
For those who care, we've added a racing day, July 2nd. So we will race Wednesday, July 2nd.
Oh, sweet.
At 5 o'clock. And we have Thursday, July 3rd. A week from Thursday, we start at 4 o'clock. We have the big fireworks extravaganza, super popular. Pump about 25, 30 grand into those fireworks, about 28 minutes with music behind it. It's elite for those who have seen it. They know what I'm talking about. Thursday, July 3rd, 4 o'clock fireworks after. 4th of July racing, 1 o'clock that Friday. And then Saturday we race at 5. But we have a July. CanterburyPark.com for information. It's where the people come to play, Canterbury Park. It's where Nordo plays blackjack and wins every day.
Let's start with the NBA before we get to last night's Game 7. A lot of people kind of dream weaving what would Kevin Durant look like on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Well, you don't have to wait any longer. He just ain't coming here. He's going to the Houston Rockets. A trade was consummated yesterday, or at least the news of it broke, that Kevin Durant is heading to the Houston Rockets. The Phoenix Suns, in return, are going to get Jalen Green, super inefficient, but young scorer. Dylan Brooks, he's gritty on defense. He's an agitator. He's in the mix as well. The 10th overall pick in this upcoming draft, and then 5 second-round picks. Your thoughts, maybe at large, in terms of what KD could have looked like on the Minnesota Timberwolves, PA, versus now you're thinking about a Suns team that is in a lot of trouble from a personnel standpoint. KD joins an interesting mix that does include Amen Thompson. Is it Şengün? You were pronouncing it earlier. I think it's LFL fodder, but very good player at times. Center man, and then Mr. Van Vliet et al. So KD to the Houston Rockets, stays in the West for a team with Ime Udoka coaching that operation. Looks like they're on the come. One of the better teams in the NBA back half of 2 years ago, and then throughout the regular season this time. But KD spurns the Minnesota T-Wolves, and then the team also unable to make a deal with the Miami Heat as part of this as well. So KD's a Rocket.
According to the internet, you take, this is Reddit. I've heard of Reddit. I mean, like, what is Reddit?
Just big chat threads.
Is it like,
create a topic and people discuss?
Is it cesspool like Rube Chat used to be at KFAN.com?
100% it is. Yes.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah, very cesspool-like. Well, sometimes you can pull some good info out of it.
How to pronounce Alperin, Şengün, Şengun. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to go down on this Reddit thing. Well, after he gets destroyed in 19 takes for letting somebody score on him and can't stop PJ Washington and I'd rather have Joker over him. No kidding.
Yeah,
I can't find the pronunciation here. So anyway,
someone innocently, somebody innocently asks, "Hey, how do you pronounce this NBA player's name?" In the first comment, who cares? Bleep 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 him. Right? I mean, yes, that is.
Here's an AI overview. These are pretty reliable. The Turkish name Sengun is pronounced Alperin Şengün. Yes, Şengün.
Şengün.
That's we're not doing the show in Turkey, but nevertheless he's of Turkish descent. with the emphasis on the goon sound, which means when he has a triple-double, home fans pulling for the Rockets, well, they're not booing, they're gooning.
I always love that one.
Oh, wait, it's Sen. The Sen part is pronounced, similar to Shen, but it's Shen. So, yeah, Shengun.
Shengun.
Yeah,
I dig it.
Wasn't that fun? I think the Houston Rockets won the deal because they got the best player in the deal for the now. And I do think, Kevin Durant, despite I really didn't have a ton of interest in that whole thing, specifically with it being 50 some odd million a year, supposedly. But think of the Rockets for those who follow it. I mean, and we followed Jalen Green's career since he came into the NBA. Why? We're league freak raised. There was a time the Rockets thought with Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green that we got a thing. Well, but then they had problems with each other because they both were speedy and good and ball handlers. And who's the alpha? Well, they couldn't figure out who the alpha was. Porter Jr. went pear-shaped.
Off the court, yep.
Yeah, got suspended for at least a year. Green couldn't carry the load, eventually got benched, came off the bench. I like how you put it. He's super talented, but my guess is Houston management is happy to see him leave.
Yes.
Dylan Brooks is, like I said in the weekend wrap, he's a ham and egger. People know Dylan Brooks. He's tough, but he's limited. And the 10th overall pick in the draft, no idea what's going to happen there. And then 5 second-round picks, which sounds like a bunch of trade currency. So I think Houston won the now of the deal, but I also think they won the to come of the deal because I believe, just gut feeling, it's process of elimination that's going to help them win for years because I don't think they wanted Jalen Green around. I don't think they trusted him. Jalen Green is one of the worst players teams can compensate because you'll see a 35, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. He hit 8 threes, and you're going to count on it, and then you ain't going to get it for a week.
Right.
Then you're going to get it 2 games in a row. Then you're going to get 8 turnovers the next. He just never was the same guy. He's supposed to be, like at his age and everything, the most long-term talented guy in the deal, but I think Houston was happy to get rid of him.
Yeah. On paper, I mean, you go Van Vliet, they like that Reed Shepard, the young cat that can shoot it from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Amin Thompson, Şengün, and
Amin Thompson's the bomb.
And then Durant. Jabari Smith needs to actually stay healthy for longer than 3-game stretches.
Yep.
Mailman's guy, Tari Eason, plays defense all day.
They have depth if they can put it together.
To the champions, they were in OKC going, Lou!
Thunder fans feel this moment. The uncommon young team proves to be unstoppable. It's over at Paycom Center. Final in Game 7. The Thunder 103, the Pacers 91. A dream realized. The storybook season is complete. The final chapter reads the Oklahoma City Thunder are the 2025 NBA champions.
That courtesy of Thunder Radio. The Oklahoma City Thunder win Game 7 last night. And the big story, of course, coming from that Tyrese Halliburton, just a handful, less than 10 minutes into the game, tears his Achilles. He's out. And it changed the frame of things for Indy, who had fought their way back to force a Game 7. Here's Obi Toppin, who was, frankly, just dreadful last night. But he says that Halliburton was on his mind.
We need a tie out there. And he's been good for us all year. And for him to go down, beginning a game like that, it's it sucked the soul out of us. I ain't going to say out of everybody, but I don't feel like I played good because I was thinking about it the whole day, and I felt like it was my fault. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wait, does he feel like it's his fault Halliburton's Achilles popped?
Well, I think he's looking at himself as saying it's his fault that the team lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
Well, that's unacceptable, and I'm not trying to be... I mean, it's Game 7 of a championship series. So unacceptable, I believe, is the right answer, crass and callous and cold as it can be, because I feel him, man. I mean, it's just like if Obi Toppin is so moved and so upset by what has happened to his dog, Tyrese Halliburton, then after his first or second stint, he probably needs to tell Rick Carlisle, I ain't got it, man. And I'm sorry to say this in the biggest moment for everybody, but I'm hurting the team. So maybe he tried to push through it. That was really sad. Holy cow, that was sad.
The OKC Thunder win that title, and I will just ask you, quick twitch, the same question you may have asked Pat Micheletti last hour. Is this a dynastic type situation with the Oklahoma City Thunder? Are we talking dynasty? I mean, I'd like to see them in the mix even a year from now to be able to even start having that question, but you play the age game, the picks game, the money game, and everything is set up for OKC to be a force for years to come.
Yeah, I don't really see why not. Now, now Cooper Flagg is going to be a wild card in this thing, along with the guy who's going to go number 2 to San Antonio to play with Wemby, and that point guard Stephon Castle is pretty good. He'll get better, but see, Dallas went last year with Ponchi Luka. And Kyrie's coming off a significant injury, but he'll be back. And they're still going to have those bigs, and I think they're still going to have your guy PJ hitting the corner threes, and he's tough as nails. So, and now Brandon Williams, a ham and egger who never was supposed to play, played big minutes and actually was good. So, like him for deep bench stuff. I think Dallas is the sneakiest of sneaky in the Western Conference next year. 8 different teams have won the NBA title the last 8 seasons. I don't really see why OKC, if they keep that MV3 together, and they get like Lou Dort and Wallace and some other guys to stick around, that's the target at which to shoot for at least the next 3 years.
It's kind of interesting where teams, maybe they're doing it differently than the Wolves did, but does it feel like they're really hunting for size? So you think about the front court situation with the Mavericks, where, and I don't have Flagg's height in front of me, not a small guy by any stretch, but then you have AD, and you got is it Lively?
Yeah,
I think they have Derek Lively,
yep.
And then
Gafford.
There you go. And you look at the Houston Rockets; they have Şengün, and now, of course, he's not posting up maybe as much at this point in his career, and his shooting will be more from the outside. But you think about the size of a Durant, like you're looking at some of these teams. Hartenstein,
Cooper Flagg is 6'9".
Okay, perfect. So
he'll be their small forward. PJ will be their power forward, and they'll rotate those bigs with Kyrie and whomever.
Yeah, that's size and length all day.
That's pretty nice.
It is. So you look at just kind of that trend of how teams are chasing a little more size, but maybe a different kind of size than what you see in other areas.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? Let's pause and talk about this Minnesota Twins team with Lavelli Neal III. They get swept by the Brewers.
Got you.
Including a 9-0 affair on Saturday. Festa was festering yesterday. Joe Ryan gave us a winning performance, but the bullpen did not. But Buxton maybe having the best season of his career, all in the midst, maybe hopefully not getting lost among all of the L's. So that's where the Minnesota Twins are at. They're hosting the Mariners tonight. Hopefully there are some angles on Ober. Maybe Ober can get a W for our favorite 9 later this evening.
Check your watch and tell me what time it is.
11:05.
Now peek your head out and tell me what the climate is.
Sizzling hot because the cash thing is about 15 minutes from now on KFAN.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money you saw in
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Are you still quoting 30-year-old movies? Have you said cool beans in the past 90 days? Do you think Discover isn't widely accepted? If this sounds like you, you're stuck in the past. Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. And every time you make a purchase with your card, you automatically earn cash back. Welcome to the now. It pays to Discover. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hi, I'm Danielle Fishel from Pod Meets World. So for my two boys, I got Samsung Galaxy Watch for Kids. And I'm not saying I'm kind of jealous of my kids' tech. I'm saying I am definitely jealous of my child's tech. This thing lets them call, text, and explore all from their wrist. No smartphone required. And don't worry, you're still the boss. You control who they can talk to, and yes, you can totally stalk their location in real time. Get Galaxy Watch 7 on T-Mobile, now kid-ready with a new paired line. Visit T-Mobile.com to order yours today. Parent and child must have a Samsung account and Google account with Family Link. Requires initial pairing with a compatible Samsung smartphone and qualifying wireless plan with LTE service activated. Please check with your carrier for more information. Trusted contact applies to compatible apps. It does not restrict communication through third-party or other communication apps. Emergency services and contacts remain accessible. Location sharing is dependent on network connectivity and device being recently active. T-Mobile terms via 24 monthly bill credits when you add a qualifying paired watch line. See additional offer terms on T-Mobile.com.